So once again, there is contradicting reports in regards to the future of Xavi Hernández and the future of Hansi Flick. I'm going to be making this video because I think that it should be made regardless whether Xavi stays or leaves or whether Hansi Flick gets the job or not. And so let's assume that everything that has been going on right now is true. Because again, all of this could be deemed as fake within these next 24 hours. But it does say here, according to Moises Llorens, Deco and Bojan are scheduled to hold a meeting with Hansi Flick in London. Both flew this morning to the British capital. This has been followed by more sources coming from Germany that stated Hansi Flick will not join Chelsea. And that is because he is focused on other projects. And those other projects is FC Barcelona. Roger Torreo also stated before that Hansi Flick is still waiting for Barcelona. He is only prioritizing them and won't take any decision on his future until he knows what happens at FC Barcelona. And so we all knew that Hansi Flick has been committed to taking this job because over the past 8 months, the only thing that we have been hearing is Hansi Flick analyzing the current squad of Barcelona and how he could probably revive this team. And so yes, it may be true. Barcelona and Joan Laporta may see Hansi Flick as the successor to Xavi Hernández. This is a German coach that has always been wanted and has been admired by Joan Laporta. And you may wonder, well, if that's the case, why did Laporta choose Xavi over Hansi Flick back in 2021? And at that time, things were very different. Even though, yes, Hansi Flick was a very successful coach because he won multiple titles with Bayern Munich, he was not available because he was taking on the job of being the coach of the German national team. So he was not available at all. The only options that he had at that time was Xavi Hernández to take over after Ronald Koeman. It was also said that Joan Laporta really liked the fact that Xavi was committed to the project. He had a lot of enthusiasm at that time, and that is why he appointed Xavi on November 2021. But after seeing a underwhelming season right now and seeing how Hansi Flick was fired as the German national team coach, it is what led towards this moment today. Hansi Flick is available and Xavi Hernández may not be liked by the board. I'm going to be making a separate video about how Hansi Flick could build his squad with Barcelona in the summer, what's going to be the tactics, what's going to be the formation, again in a whole other separate video. That is not what I do want to speak about for today because again, this whole thing about Hansi Flick joining FC Barcelona and how Deco has met with Hansi Flick in London, all of this may not even be true. So I'm going to be waiting on that conversation and give it about a few more days. The first thing that I do want to speak about is I just hope that Joan Laporta shows more respect to his current coaches, whether it's going to be Xavi Hernández in the future or Hansi Flick. Regardless, Joan Laporta needs to handle these type of situations much better because can you imagine, right? You yourself finding out exactly what's going to go on with your future through the media, but you're never being told directly what's going to happen to you. Can you imagine Xavi Hernández telling the media that he is planning for the next season and that he's ready for the next season, but at the same time, you're also hearing Deco and Bojan going to London to make a meeting with Hansi Flick. And can you imagine, after going through so many bad phases through this year, Joan Laporta, your president, the one that hired you, never came out to the media to defend you? I feel like Joan Laporta could have done so much better. And so what do I mean by defend? When Frank Rijkaard, somebody who was appointed by Joan Laporta back in the early 2000s, when he did take charge of FC Barcelona, Joan Laporta always defended Frank Rijkaard when he was going through a difficult moment. This is what Laporta had to say when he was first appointed. Frank represents the values and style of play that Barcelona stands for. His appointment is part of our broader project to restore the club to its rightful place at the top of world football. Then he went on to defend Rijkaard when Barcelona were going through a very difficult season in the 2007-2008 season. There was a lot of media pressure going on top of Frank Rijkaard, and this is what he stated to the media. Frank has our full support. His contributions to this club is immense, and we trust his ability to turn things around. But I do want to add more emphasis towards when Rijkaard was potentially leaving and potentially getting the sacking, because there were so many rumors at that time that he was going to be leaving Barcelona. The media was speculating that these are going to be the certain choices that should replace Rijkaard, very similar to what Xavi Hernández was going through right now. And Joan Laporta, yet again, went to the media and defended Rijkaard. And he stated this: Frank made history. With time, we will analyze the errors that we committed. And this was Joan Laporta basically stating that he is acknowledging the things Frank did during his time, but at the same time also blaming himself and the rest of the board members and not solely making coach the full blame because of the poor results Barcelona were going through in 2007. They went through everything together. Joan Laporta made clear of that. That is why he stated, we will analyze the errors that we have committed. Again, keep in mind, this was throughout a time where the media was speculating that Mourinho should be the successor or Pellegrini Platini should also be the successor, very similar to what Xavi Hernández is going through right now. The only difference is Joan Laporta went out to the media to always defend Ricard. And so it's very confusing to see that Joan Laporta is not showing his best interest to defend Xavi Hernández. I don't understand why he let Xavi Hernández make the decision in January to leave. And then Joan Laporta said, we have to respect Xavi Hernández's decision. And then later on, he wanted to act like the hero of Barcelona by saying, I see many fans wanting Xavi Hernández. Xavi Hernández is bringing good results. Let me try and convince Xavi Hernández to stay. And so he did look like the hero. He tried to convince him throughout the full course of February all the way until April. He ended up being very successful, but then it followed up with bad results through the season, which was against PSG, Real Madrid, and Girona. And then again, Joan Laporta showed his interest to seem like a hero yet again and said, don't worry, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to replace Xavi Hernández, and I'm not even going to inform Xavi Hernández about this whole thing. So one day Xavi leaves, and then he stays, and then now Xavi's leaving. It all does seem like a mess. And I feel like in the end, Joan Laporta was never interested in defending Xavi nor having continuity with Xavi Hernández. The only reason why he felt like he should have convinced Xavi through the months of February, March, and April is because he was trying to show a better image for himself. Like for sure, and this is just my speculation, the fact that the media was putting pressure on Xavi and Joan Laporta has yet to respond to clear some things out makes me believe that the media caught the truth by Joan Laporta, and that is why Joan Laporta is not saying a damn thing. This is what leads me towards Hansi Flick, because whether it's Xavi Hernández or Hansi, but especially with Hansi, if Barcelona do get a new coach, we have to protect our new coach. We have to. We cannot allow Hansi Flick to go through what Xavi Hernández has been through. If Hansi Flick does get appointed, the fans and the board have to support him 110%. We cannot expect for Hansi Flick to deliver 6 trophies in the first season with Barcelona. We have to remember that when Hansi Flick first came into Bayern, he took over a team that was already 100% complete. Just think about it. That Bayern team that he got contained Neuer, who was one of the best goalkeepers in the world. It contained a prime Lewandowski, who was scoring 50 goals per season. It contained Thomas Müller, a player that is very versatile, creative. He also broke the Bundesliga record with a total of 21 assists that season. It also contained Joshua Kimmich, one of the best midfielders in the world, and he was crucial at that time through his defensive skill sets and his ability to control the midfield. It also contained Alphonso Davies, an emerging left back that ended up becoming the best left back in the world. He was an anomaly because of how fast he was with the ball and how dangerous he was in the final third. It also contained David Alaba, a versatile center back, Gnabry. It contained Koeman. It contained Goretzka, Thiago Alcantara, another playmaker that controlled the tempo of the game. That team was truly set, and Hansi Flick just said, okay, I have this material to work with. It's complete. I just need to amplify this team. And so he did. So the fan base and the journalists cannot judge Hansi Flick if he ends up being the coach of FC Barcelona, and especially in the first season. You have to give it time. We cannot say Hansi Flick should come out by February 2025 just because we lost on 2 trophies. We need to give these coaches time. And I know that Hansi Flick is going to go into the heat of this whole moment. He's going to be experiencing media heat like never before. And so I hope that if this is true, if Deco truly is speaking with Hansi Flick, they end up being very transparent with him and they tell him, hey, this is the only thing that we could do during the transfer window. We understand that you do like our youngsters like Pedri, Gavi, Lamine Yamal, and Kubarsi, but understand that if you want certain reinforcements, it's very likely that we may not be able to give that to you. And also understand that we do not have a pivot and we don't know if we can give you the pivot that you do desire. So please, I hope that there is transparency in this meeting and to give Hansi Flick the best time possible once he does join the club potentially. So that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.